Okay, guys, welcome to my channel, and I am going to be showing my process of how I've been making my tags for my 7 Deadly Sins tags I've been using with my mixed media doll stamps by Julia Nutting and Prima. Somebody asked in one of the videos, or one of the groups I'm in, that I posted these, and was with my, just show my process of how I'm making these. So I told her I would. I'm sorry whoever you were, I forgot who you were, but I'm making a video. And I'm on my last one, which is Envy. It's reference color green. And so first what I do is I gather everything, or just about everything, that I'm going to put on the tag. Now I cut this from some thin chipboard. I don't have millimeters. I ordered this a while back, and it's not in the package, so I don't know how thick it is, what the millimeter thick it is. But the tag itself is 4.5 by 10. And so the tags are the same, but they're not the same. They got, some of them got the same thing on them. Oh, well, they all have the same thing on them, but then they have their own little whatever. So what I start with is my tag, and I use some tissue paper, or let me hold on. I use this paper by Tim Holtz. Ideology tissue wrap, and I just tore off 7 pieces, and because I go ahead and got that pre-made or whatever when I got this done. So I'm using that, and I already stamped my doll, and this is the one I'm using, which is Shay, and I stamp all of them on brown or tan cardstock. This is not craft cardstock. It's like a brown color. These are the papers that I'm going to use for her dress, which again I've already stamped the dress part for her dress, another part for her dress, and her shoes. This is I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but this is a piece of green that I might do something with to decorate the tag. And here are all my flowers that I'm going to use. Again, I might not use them all, but those are what I plan to use. This is the ribbon. So I go through my craft room and my stuff, my stash, my bling and everything. This is the bling I'm going to use. And I pull out everything that I want to use on the tag. And I also going to use this spray mist that I made myself. I made it out of my alcohol inks. It's Meadow. I might post a video on how I made my alcohol inks, or my spray inks. And this is called Meadow. I'm going to use that. And on all of them, I used this template, or what is this called? Stencils, by Tim Holtz. And I used just this part right here, just that part. And I also, and to do that, I use some DIY media paste, or stuff that I made over a year ago. I forgot what I mixed in this. It was a YouTube tutorial that I followed it from. I wrote the recipe down somewhere. I think I put it on my computer. And I've used this, and it works really well. I know the one thing I did remember putting in here was baby powder, because you can smell it. I mean, I know that's one ingredient that I put in there. So I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using my matte gel that to stick the tissue paper down to the tag. On some I use this, and on others I use the Mod Podge, but I'm liking this better, so I'm going to be using that. And to do some coloring and shading of the doll and her clothes, I'm going to be using some of my Copics. I already picked out which ones I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my Stays, well, I already used this, but this is the Stays on ink that I used to stamp the doll and her clothing or whatever. And the letters that I used for the names, I used all of these. I ran out of letters, so the last one I got some more because I didn't have the colored ones. The only other color I had was red besides the white or the silver. So what I've done with the other ones, I've actually used a Sharpie marker to color the letters that I needed to be in. But because this one, I don't have all the letters that I need for the last tag, which is envy, I need an E. I have all the letters except the E, so I'm going to use the silver. I think these are the same. We'll use this one. We'll be using the silver to color this. I'll show you how to do that. So I'm going to be using that for the little tag. And on all of them, I had to have like at least 2 things of black, some kind of embellishment in black on the tag. So this is gonna be a little tag that I punched with my with one of my dies from my Big Cake. And let me see, I'm going to be using also the dimensional foam tape to pop up my doll. And let me see, I got my glue gun plugged up and my heat gun plugged up. I got some cleaner. This is a spray bottle of alcohol. I'm going to be if I need to clean up. And X-Acto and scissors to fussy cut my doll out. Now, the thing with cutting this doll out is that I wanted to use my scan and cut. And I've done it before where I've stamped something and it cut it out, but I guess because of this colored cardstock, it would pick up the image to cut it out. I said, no big deal, I'll just cut it out, no problem. And let me see, I'm thinking there's something else. Probably not, but this is basically all the stuff I know I'm going to put. I want to incorporate somehow in my tag. And so I gather most of all my supplies up, and then if when I get almost done with it, then I just go and grab it. But I pretty much get just about everything that I'm going to need from the get-go. Alright, so let's get started. Now, first of all, let me put the water back over here. I hope I don't knock it over. I, of course, glued the paper down. And what I do is, I gotta get some of the water out of my foam brush. I don't want a lot of water in it. But I leave it, in my cup of water. And I leave it in there because I don't want to have to keep grabbing it, so I just keep it in the water. So anyway, the brush is kind of damp. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip this in there and spread this out. And I hope my air conditioner don't dry this before I get the paper in here. I try to work pretty fast when I'm doing this part. So I'm going to completely cover that and with that. And then what I do is, turn that off. I go ahead and lay this down. Wait a minute. Yeah. Lay this down first. And then I lay this on top. Oops, I just bent it. Okay. And then I get top. But sometimes you can get like little creases, but make sure you're going around the edges. Make sure I get every edge. Around the edge. Okay. And it's gonna be a little noisy with my heat gun on. Dry it a little bit. Okay. And then I'll just flip this one with the bigger scissors. And then just flip this over and cut this off. And just go right up against the chipboard. all that off. Okay. Sometimes I don't get close enough. Oh. Oh, right. All right, let's put this back. All right, so, but I tend to go around the edges and make sure that it's not, see, like there, that's coming up. I'll go all the way around, make sure nothing's coming up. Right there's coming up. And then what I do, I just take my finger and I just go up against that like that. And then I roll it down. Press it down. Make sure it gets all around the edges. Let's see. There's a little spot on my finger. Yeah, just roll it down. And then this on this side. See my finger. And if I get it far back, I just put it on the chipboard. Okay. And then I'll dry it. Okay. That's good. Alright. Now some of these I didn't do this in the same order every time I made these, and some stuff on the cap. Okay. I don't know how that happened. Oh well. But anyway, either I spray this first and then I do my stencil. That's how I initially was doing it. But then sometimes I forget to do the stencil first and then I spray it, and then I go back to it, and then I spray it again. But since I remember this time, we're gonna go ahead and do the stencil. And let me get my spatula. And I'm going to get, and this stuff settles, but it's just easy to stir. Just stir it up. And I'm getting it everywhere. And so I'm going to center this where I want it. And then I get some of my that's too much. Some of these I did put too much on, then I got under the stencil and couldn't really tell it, but I know it's there. So, and I just do this part, and I try not to rub it too much because I think if I go over it too many times, it gets under the stencil that way too. So, and I kind of take off. There it goes. And then I'll show you how I clean that. I'll clean this off. My new craft shed, I try to clean up as I go. Same thing I do when I'm cooking in my kitchen because I can't stand working in a mess. So I clean up as I go. So I'm done with that. I'm going to put that back. Well, not quite. I'm done with the paste though. Done with that. So put that back where it goes. And some of these spots around, some of this around here I don't want, so just take it and scrape it off. And just scrape some parts that I don't want. That, set that aside. I'm going to spray my stencil clean. Now I'm not going to use alcohol on this. I'm using, this is my spray bottle. I think I put this in the video when I did my semi-tour. This is just a bottle of 1 part ammonia and 1 part water. And this is what I clean this with. This is how I clean this. I'll just clean it. Put that up. Wipe. Flip it. Flip on that side. Clean it. Flip it. That side. And I have wipes. So sometimes I do it with wipes, but I don't want it completely damp because I want to keep it dry so I can wipe it up like that and it won't get back on there. So I do that a couple of times until it's clean to my liking. And then sometimes I let it dry, and if it's some little stuff caked in there, I get a toothbrush. I just go in there and clean that up. Make sure I get all of that out. And done with that. So I go ahead and put that because I'm done using it now because I'm on my last doll stamp. Now, so done with this. Put that back. Okay, so now I'm gonna bring this back in, and I'm gonna dry this. Now, make sure if you, I don't know about the other place, but with this, I have to make sure that I don't get too close and heat it too much because it will bubble. And even if it does bubble, I can just take my finger and push it back down and can't even see it. But sometimes it is noticeable, but it's not a big deal. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I think that's good and dry. Alright, so now we're going to take, let me get another paper towel, my spray mist, and I'm going to just spray this. I don't know if I'm going to like this green, but I think this is the only green that I have. And this way I gotta make some more. And just kind of dab it up just a little bit. Wipe that down. And then I'm going to dry it. Alright, come on. There we go. Yep. And I think I'm going to spray that again. I'm going to spray a little bit more. Make the color a little bit deeper. I'm not going to dab any off. I just wipe that off because I don't want it drying on the mat, even though it'll come off if I use the cleaner, but and dry. Alrighty. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to work on my doll. Again, I already stamped her. And I stamped her clothing. And I got the Copics that I'm going to use to, I'm going to sit down now. To color her. So first I use this color, which is color E33. And this is what hold on, I forgot something. I get the pink for I think it's this color. This is RV23. And what I do is, I do 2 little circles for blushing cheeks. Okay guys, welcome to my channel, and I am going to be showing my process of how I've been making my tags for my 7 Deadly Sins tag that I've been using with my mixed media doll stamps by Julia Nutting and Prima. Somebody asked in one of the videos, or one of the groups I'm in, that I posted these, was with my, just show my process of how I'm making these. So I told her I would. I'm sorry whoever you were, I forgot who you were, but I'm making a video. And I'm on my last one, which is Envy. It's reference color green. And so first what I do is I gather everything, or just about everything, that I'm going to put on the tag. Now I cut this from some thin chipboard. I don't remember millimeters. I ordered this a while back, and it's not in the package, so I don't know how thick it is, what the millimeter thick it is. But the tag itself is 4.5 by 10. And so the tags are the same, but they're not the same. They got, some of them got the same thing on them. Oh, well, they all have the same thing on them, but then they have their own little whatever. So what I start with is my tag, and I use some tissue paper, or let me hold on. I use this paper by Tim Holtz. Ideology tissue wrap, and I just tore off 7 pieces, and because I go ahead and got that pre-made or whatever when I got this done. So I'm using that, and I already stamped my doll, and this is the one I'm using, which is Shay, and I stamped all of them on brown or tan cardstock. This is not craft cardstock. It's like a brown color. These are the papers that I'm going to use for her dress, which again I've already stamped the dress part for her dress. Another part for her dress and her shoes. This is I don't know if I'm going to use this or not, but this is a piece of green that I might do something with to decorate the tag. And here are all my flowers that I'm going to use. Again, I might not use them all, but those are what I plan to use. This is the ribbon. So I go through my craft room and my stuff, my stash, my bling and everything. This is the bling I'm going to use. And I pull out everything that I want to use on the tag. And I also going to use this spray mist that I made myself. I made it out of my alcohol inks. It's Meadow. I might post a video on how I made my alcohol inks, or my spray inks. And this is called Meadow. I'm going to use that. And on all of them, I used this template, or what is this called? Stencils, and by Tim Holtz, and I use just this part right here, just that part. And I also, and to do that, I use some DIY media paste or stuff that I made over a year ago. I forgot what I mixed in this. It was a YouTube tutorial that I followed it from. I wrote the recipe down somewhere. I think I put it on my computer. And I've used this, and it works really well. I know the one thing I did remember putting in here was baby powder, because you can smell it. I mean, I know that's one ingredient that I put in there. So I'm going to be using that. I'm also going to be using my matte gel that to stick the tissue paper down to the tag. On some I use this, and on others I use the Mod Podge, but I'm liking this better, so I'm going to be using that. And to do some coloring and shading of the doll and her clothes, I'm going to be using some of my Copics. I already picked out which ones I'm going to be using. I'm going to be using my Stays. Well, I already used this, but this is the Stays on ink that I used to stamp the doll and her clothing or whatever. And the letters that I used for the names, I used all of these. I ran out of letters, so the last one I got some more because I didn't have the colored ones. The only other color I had was red besides the white or the silver. So what I've done with the other ones, I've actually used a Sharpie marker to color the letters that I needed to be in. But because this one, I don't have all the letters that I need for the last tag, which is Envy, I need an E. I have all the letters except the E, so I'm going to use the silver. I think these are the same. We'll use this one. We'll be using the silver. The color is not sure how to do that, so I'm going to be using that for the little tag. And on all of them, I had to have like at least 2 things of black, some kind of embellishment in black on the tag. So this is gonna be a little tag that I punched with my with one of my dies from my Big Cake. And let me see, I'm going to be using also the dimensional foam tape to pop up my doll. And let me see, I got my glue gun plugged up and my heat gun plugged up. I got some cleaner. This is a spray bottle of alcohol. I'm going to be if I need to clean up. And X-Acto and scissors to fussy cut my doll out. Now, the thing with cutting this doll out is that I wanted to use my scanning cut. And I've done it before where I stamped something and it cut it out, but I guess because of this colored cardstock, it would pick up the image to cut it out. I said, no big deal, I'll just cut it out, no problem. And let me see, I'm thinking there's something else. Probably not. But this is basically all the stuff I know I'm going to put. I want to incorporate somehow my tag. And so I gather most of all my supplies up, and then if when I get almost done with it, then I just go and grab it. But I pretty much get just about everything that I'm going to need from the get-go. Alright, so let's get started. Now, first of all, let me put the water back over here. I hope I don't knock it over. I, of course, glue the paper down. And what I do is, I gotta get some water out of my foam brush. I don't want a lot of water in it. But I leave it, in my cup of water. And I leave it in there because I don't want to have to keep grabbing it, so I just keep it in the water. So anyway, the brush is kind of damp. So I'm just going to go ahead and dip this in there and spread this out. And I hope my air conditioner don't dry this before I get the paper in here. I try to work pretty fast when I'm doing this part. So I'm going to completely cover that and with that. And then what I do is, turn that off, I go ahead and lay this down. Wait a minute. Yeah. Lay this down first. And then I lay this on top. Oops, I just bent it. Okay. And then I get top. But sometimes you can get like little creases, but make sure you go around the edges. Make sure I get every edge. Around the edge. Okay. And it's gonna be a little noisy with my heat gun on. Dry it a little bit. Okay. And then I'll just flip this one with the bigger scissors. And then just flip this over and cut this off. Just go right up against the chipboard. All that off. Okay. Sometimes I don't get close enough. Okay. Oh, what's that? All right, let's put this back. All right, so, but I tend to go around the edges and make sure that it's not, see, like there, that's coming up. I go all the way around, make sure nothing's coming up. Right there's coming up. And then what I do, I just take my finger and I just go up against that like that. And then I roll it down. Press it down. Make sure it gets all around the edges. Let's see. There's a little spot on my finger. And this roll it down. And then this on this side. See my finger. And if I get it far back, I just put it on the chipboard. Okay. And then I'll dry it. Okay. That's good. All right. Now some of these I didn't do this in the same order every time I made these, and some stuck on the cap. Okay. I don't know how that happened. Oh well. But anyway, either I spray this first and then I do my stencil. That's how I initially was doing it. But then sometimes I forget to do the stencil first and then I spray it and then I go back and then I spray it again. But since I remember this time, we're gonna go ahead and do the stencil. And let me get my spatula. And I'm going to get, and this stuff settles, but it's just easy to stir. Just stir it up. And I'm getting it everywhere. And so I'm going to center this where I want it. And then I get some of my that's too much. Some of these I did put too much on, then I got under the stencil and couldn't really tell it, but I know it's there. So, and I just do this part, and I try not to rub it too much because I think if I go over it too many times, it gets under the stencil that way too. So, and I kind of take off. There it goes. And then I'll show you how I clean that. I'll clean this off. My new craft shed, I try to clean up as I go. Same thing I do when I'm cooking in my kitchen because I can't stand working in a mess. So I clean up as I go. So I'm done with that. I'm going to put that back. Well, not quite. I'm done with the paste still. Done with that. So put that back where it goes. And some of these spots around, some of this around here I don't want, so just take it, scrape it off. Just scrape some parts that I don't want. That, set that aside. I'm going to spray my stencil clean. Now I'm not going to use alcohol on this. I'm using, this is my spray bottle. I think I put this in the video. when I did my semi-tour. This is just a bottle of 1 part ammonia and 1 part water. And this is what I clean this with. This is how I clean this. I'll just clean it. Put that up. Wipe. Flip it. Flip on that side. Clean it. Flip it. That side. And I have wipes. So sometimes I do it with wipes, but I don't want it completely damp because I want to keep it dry so I can wipe it up like that and it won't get back on there. So I do that a couple of times until it's clean to my liking. And then sometimes I let it dry, and if it's some little stuff caked in there, I get a toothbrush. Let's go in there and clean that out. Make sure I get all of that out. And done with that. So I'll go ahead and put that because I'm done using it now because I'm on my last doll stamp. And now, so done with this. Put that back. Okay. So now I'm going to bring this back in. And I'm going to dry this. Now, make sure if you, I don't know about the other place, but with this, I have to make sure that I don't get too close and heat it too much because it will bubble. And even if it does bubble, I can just take my finger and push it back down and can't even see it. But sometimes it is noticeable, but it's not a big deal. Okay. Alright. Okay, so I think that's good and dry. Alright, so now we're going to take, let me get another paper towel, my spray mist, and I'm going to just spray this. I don't know if I'm going to like this green, but I think this is the only green that I have. And this spray I gotta make some more. And just kind of dab it up just a little bit. Wipe that down. And then I'm going to dry it. Yeah. Alright, come on. There we go. And I think I'm going to spray that again. I'm going to spray a little bit more, make the color a little bit deeper. Okay. This time I'm not going to dab any off. I just wipe that off because I don't want it drying on the mat, even though it'll come off if I use the cleaner, but and dry. Alrighty. Okay, so now that we're done with that, I'm going to set that aside. And now I'm going to work on my doll. Again, I already stamped her. And I stamped her clothing. And I got the Copics that I'm going to use to, I'm going to sit down now, to color her. So first I use this color, which is color E33. And this is what, hold on, I forgot something. I did the pink for, I think it's this color. This is RV23. And what I do is, I do 2 little circles for blushing cheeks. Okay, I'm back. I got everything cut out. Let's zoom back out. Alright, so I got everything cut out. And I cut out everything. Some of the dolls that had the poofier drifts or something like that, I didn't cut the whole thing because we're going to cover it up anyway, so I didn't have to cut the whole thing. But I did cut all of her out. Cut her all the way out. And the bottom part of her dress, I didn't cut all the way out. I just, you know, see, I cut it. That part, this top part's gonna be covered up anyway. So, and I cut her dress and her shoes. Now, before I do all that, I'm gonna take. Well, I'm gonna need my brown again. I'm gonna use this brown and a green. And what I do, because some, you know, see some of the edges that is around here, I just go and I want to cover those up a little bit so you can't really see them. That's, you know, like when you use the dressings to cover your white edges when you cut something out. You don't want those showing them. That's what I'm doing here. So get in there. And I do it from the back, especially on the parts where I, like her legs, her skin, you're going to see, because sometimes I can mess up and I gotta and have a line through there. So that's how I go from the back. Now her shoes and her dress and stuff, I don't care too much about. I'm doing this. Sometimes I use black, but I'm going to use the brown. It serves the same purpose. It doesn't matter which one you use. Because even if you color your doll a different color, her skin anyway, you can use whatever color. You can use black, you know, same color that you use to stamp it, or you can use color closer to what you know, the paper or whatever. And then I'm going to use the green and do the same thing on this. And like I said, I'm just see, it's a white edge. That white edge right there, I just want that covered up. I don't want that showing. So that is why I'm taking the green, going around there, and we don't have to do the whole thing in this because it's going to be covered up. And then we're going to do her shoes. Same thing with the shoes. It's going to be kind of hard to use because these are tiny, so this is probably going to be a little difficult to get that. That's good enough. Don't want that to show, that white from the paper cut out. Okay, now I'm going to use my Tombow glue to glue all the pieces down. Now I got, this is Tombow Aqua, the clear kind that I get from Michaels. That down first. Then I'm going to glue for this down. Put that on top. Then I'm just going to put glue there. Okay, gotta figure out which one is which. Yeah. It's this one. just a teeny bit. Let's get the glue on the shoe. Now some of the other ones I think on most of these I just colored the shoes with a Copic marker. And I think on one of them I did cut out the shoes. But on most of these I just cut them out. And that is my doll. There she is. Okay. That. Okay, we're gonna bring back in the tag. And then we'll put the doll back aside. And now we're going to decorate the tag. Now, I'm gonna put the ribbon down here. And with all my dolls, I try to make sure I stand up their head like right in the middle of the clock. So they had like a halo. So I lay her down first, and then I put where I want to place everything else. And well, the bling always going to go at the top, so we can go. This is peel and stick. Most of the blings that I used on here was peel and stick, and some of them, I think probably one other one, I actually had to glue it down with the hot glue. Oh, that's not straight. Straight as I would like it. Okay, that's straight. And actually on one of these I didn't have a bloom color that I wanted. And so I think it was the pink one. Let me see. Yeah, it was the pink one. I didn't have any pink bling, or I had some, but it wasn't the bright color pink that I wanted. It was more purple. So I just took a one of my Copic markers, and I went into Airless Wonder and colored it pink. That works. Alright, let's center her back in here. Like I said, I've used her there, place where I want things to go. So I'm gonna place, make sure, put her right where I want her. And flowers. Let me see which ones I'm gonna use. Was it this one and this one? Yeah, this one and this one. I'm going to glue right there, and then that in the center, and then put this black. I'm probably taking that off. You know what? Let's go ahead and take that off. And stick it right in the center of that. And then, let's see, let's place her again. And I'm going to stick it. I think I want to butterfly show on this one. And then again, I want her leg covered up. Let's see, which side, guys? Which side do I want this? Do I want to cover the butterfly? I'll put it on this side. And then this flower. These two colors. That there. I'm going to put a pearl in the middle of that one. Okay. So let's cut this ribbon down some. As a matter of fact, we're going to go ahead and mend the ends. I'm going to have to, and I can't wrap around like I did those. Just a second. Goodness gracious, where is it? Oh crap, I can't find. See? First time I can't find something, it's not where it's supposed to be. Because I didn't put it back where it goes. Give me a second, hold on. Did I put it in here? Put it in my carousel? Oh, I did. Haha. Sorry. I put it in my carousel. I'm looking all over for it. Gotta remember where I put it next time. Okay, so we're gonna burn. Just gonna not hold on. The air conditioner's blowing my hair. Blowing my light. Let's just turn that a bit. Sorry guys. Okay. I'm gonna take this. I'm just gonna not touch it, but get close to it and it'll mend that so it won't unravel. Okay. And we're going to do the other side. And like I said, you don't have to touch it. Just get kind of close to it and it will mend it so that it will not unravel. And you can see a grain in here where you can get it straight. I don't have to touch it. Nope, a little too much, but oh well. Alright. Okay, so I'm going to glue this down first. I'm thinking I want to do something else with this because this is just a little too plain. Let's do it here. Okay. I'm going to leave that there. Okay. And let's see. Now see, this is when, like I said, I get the majority of things I want to put on here. But then when I get to this point, I want to dress this up. So I'm going to do something else with this. Let's see. I'm going to put that right there. That right there. Let me see what I'm going to do with this. I'm going to decorate this. Oh, I think I know what to do with this. Okay, let's do this. Let's see. Okay. And then let's put this down just a little bit again. Oh, I tore it the wrong way. I want the white to show. So then I'm going to do this. Kind of pleat it, and I'm just going to pleat it this way. Like I said, when I'm making these things, I'm making it up as I go, so I probably could have put this in my scoreboard and scored it, but and it's right over here behind me, but I just don't feel like rubbing it. I'm just going to fold it. Just pleat it that way, and then I'm going to pleat it the other way. It doesn't really have to have the same amount of pleats on the other side. I think I pleated it wrong. Oh well. Let's see. Pleat this like that. Okay, that's a little pleat. Now let's see where I want this one to go up like that. I'm gonna come up from the side. Nope, let's go from the ribbon. I need to dress up this ribbon. So I'm gonna put that there. And let's see, I'm thinking I want to use some more of this torn paper right there, and that's too much white. Because I want the white to show I'm torn. I got to tear from the right side. That is still not going right like I want it. Ah, crap, Trish. Get it right. Okay. There's that right there. All right. So now we're gonna come back to this. Now I'm gonna go ahead and put my doll down, but I'm gonna grab my dimensional tape and I'm going to put on some pieces on the back of her to glue her down, to make her dimensional just a little bit. Let's see. Head. And I'm gonna get this piece. I have smaller pieces of this, but since this is right here handy, I'll use this first. There, and maybe that. I'm gonna come up a little bit. I don't want it to show right there. Now sometimes I had to cut this like 3 times to get it small because these chicks are skinny. Don't want that to show behind the slice it again. I'm gonna put one right there and one there, and then I just need a little piece for her shoes. That's probably too big. Yep, it is. Cut down some. Good. Tore off the sticker. I mean the backing and not the foam itself. Ah, come on. Oh my guys, I'm working on this. Okay. Since that's a little skinny piece, I'll go ahead and put it somewhere. Waste not, want not, no matter how tiny it is. Okay. And another piece for her shoe. Let's hope this is small enough. I'm gonna put Ick, get out of there. Hopefully that won't show. And let's go ahead and put that part right there. Like I said, might as well use it. Alright, so now I'm going to glue her or stick her down. Yeah. got that paste or dimensional, whatever you want to call it, stuff all over my hands. Yeah, that's what I got. This way. Guys, that piece might be a little too big. Okay. Oh, good gracious. Okay. Now, again, we're going to center her head right in the middle. You know what, guys? Before I stick her down, I want to do... I'm trying to think where I put the thing down. So I'm also going to go ahead and do the Wink of Stella. I'm going to put some Wink of Stella on this part. I got the white and the clear. I'm going to do this to make it give a little sparkle. So I'm going to use my Wink of Stella to get some of the sparkle. I did this on a number of them, or some of them. Like I said, I didn't do the exact same thing on all of them. Some of these have Glimmer Mist sprayed on so the whole tag sparkles, and then on one or two other ones I just did this to the clock part. Just went over it with the Wink of Stella, give it some sparkle. Yeah, and make sure I got them all. Sorry guys. Okay, let me make sure I can see. Okay, that got some sparkle to it. Okay, sorry about the lighting, but if you can see that, it's got a little bit of a sparkle to it now. Yeah. Alright, so now let's go ahead and stick her down. And again, I'm going to center her head right in the middle of the clock, and make sure her feet are straight under her so she's not leaning forward or backward. And she is down. Okay, so now I'm going to use, I guess I'm going to use this thing. I'm just going to put the bottom down. I might put it up a little bit. Stick this down right there. That's kind of cute. Let's go ahead and put this. That's going to be slightly off the tag. I don't want it all the way on there because I don't want to cover up a lot of the leg. There. Okay, I'm going to break out my disc again. I'm going to put this right here on the edge. And where's the other little piece? Ah, fudge. Where'd it go? You guys see it? What'd I do with it? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? Where'd it go? I don't think this is it, but I'll use it. I need that piece. I can't stuff stay where I need it. Alright, oh well. I'll just get another piece. I'll call myself goodness so I can find that very good. Oh, there it is. Okay. And we're gonna put this right here, right on the edge. And I'm gonna put this flower right there. Done with that. When I put that back in my caddy, my spin caddy over here, I always put that up. So I always like to use the white point most of the time. So, okay, those, that. Give me a minute. So, like I said, I'm trying to put things back when I'm done with it. Keep my room in organized fashion. Okay. Alright, so we're not done yet, guys. We're not done yet. Okay, so now I got this little thing of pearls that I ordered, I think from, it was either from Wish or eBay. I think it was from Wish. And it was Wish. And I got all these little pearls. All those different sizes of pearls in there for, I think, $4. I wish it took a minute to get to me because everything I don't I haven't ordered from the Wish that's, you know, you get things from the United States. I always order things from when it comes overseas from China or whatever. And it took a minute, but I got them. I love these. And then these are what I've been using for the earrings and other embellishments. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to find a pearl that's going to go in the middle. I'm going to find a good size. I'm going to put nope, I need a bigger one. It might be right. That'll work. Because I don't want to go the next size up. It'll be too big. I think I have some more over there, but I don't feel like walking around it again. So, since these are right here, I might just use these. Oh, let's take out two tiny ones for the earrings. These are extremely tiny. Tiny. Okay. And I put these on as the earrings, and I used my Copic to color that. Now I'm still not done with this because I want to do some of this. I don't want to leave this like this. So let's see what I need to find here. Let's see. I want to put something here. Try some moisture or something. Any idea, guys? Any ideas? Let's see. Let's see what we got. A small thing of washi here. We need something that's going to work with what I'm working with. The colors, that is. I'm thinking I probably want black. And if nope, I don't want stripes. And I don't want polka dots in, but that's alright. Well, you know what? Stripes might work. Oh, wait a minute. I see something. I see what I want to put. I see which one I want to use. Okay. How about that, guys? Would that be pretty on there? Okay. Let's see. Let's find the end. Some of this is planned, and is when I get down to the, finish it up, then if I don't like the way it's, think it needs more or need to eliminate something, then that's when I will go and start deciding then what I want to do, because these tags are not completely planned out, and the way I make my little banner edge is that the little arrow edge is that I cut it. I fold it. Oh, no, I don't think that's not enough peak. So I fold it in half, like so, and then I cut it at an angle, and that's how I get that. And I did cut that right. Let me try one more time, guys. better. Okay, and then I'm just gonna put that across there and off. It's gonna come off of the edge of that. And because that's not straight, I'm gonna cut this off. Straight. And there I have it. I'm gonna put that somewhere else too. Yes, I think I'm gonna put it in another spot. I'm gonna put it in another spot. Again, I'm going to take it, fold it sticky side out in half, and then cut at a slant to make that edge. And then I'm gonna put it right. Let's see. Let's put it right there. That's not straight. I need it straight. I need it straight. Straight enough. Okay, I'm just gonna fold that around like that. Like a sewer. I like that. I'm gonna stop hurting. Okay. Now, let's put that back. Okay, now. I think I'm pretty much done with that. Now, wait a minute. Oh, I'm messing around with my earrings. Two little tiny little pearls. Put those over there. Okay. Now, how I make the tag is that I'm going to use these stickers. They're silver. All of these, like I said, all of these sparkle. Well, wait a minute. These, the ones I was using, they got a bit of a sparkle to them, but they're mostly white. They have a sparkle, but they're not silver. So these are silver. These are actually silver. You can see that. And like I said, out of all the other ones that I did, the only one that I had the right color of was red. I had the red, and I used the red. See, that's actual red. But the other ones, like the green, the yellow, I used this Copic to color that. The pink, I used the Copic to color that. Same with the purple one, the blue one, and all the other ones. Okay, anyway, so we're going to do the same thing because I couldn't find green. So, if you can't find a color or something when it's comes to something like this, easy fix. Okay, so this is Envy, so we're going to need a green, and let's see if this green will do. And first what I do first is I actually color the letters in. And I just take it and I just dab it. I just dab it. Dab the color. I don't really brush over it. I just dab it. E. I think I need an N. Okay, because this is Envy. E-N-V. V. N-V-Y. Now let's do the first letter. N-V-E. E-N-V-Y. Envy. Okay. Okay. Then I get my trusty little tweezers because it's just easy to place. And get my tag. Now some of the words like gluttony and pride, sloth, some of the letters were too big to fit on these one little tag, so I had to cut different shapes instead of using this tag. And like I said, some of them they're all the same, but they're different. So I'll take that. I'm gonna take that. I'm going to stick. I'm gonna make this as straight as possible. Nope, it's not in the middle. I'm gonna move that up some. Okay. There's the E. Let's zoom in a little bit again. And we're going to do the N. Pull it first. It's just easy to place it. because these are a little small. These are little, and it's just easy for me to grab it with the tweezers. See? Is that tag? Where is it? Oh, sorry guys, I can't find the camera. There, and there it goes. Okay, and I also popped this up too. So I just flip that over, and up. And I think on this one too, I'm going to just put a little pearl. And I lost the pearl I was going to put in the middle of this flower. That is what you get for moving stuff around, Trish. Let's put this back, done with those. Okay, let's pull out another one. We're going to need one for that, and we're going to need one for the center of the flower. Okay. So now, I'm going to use a dab of hot glue for the center of this flower. Just a little squeeze. I don't put too much because I don't want it oozing out everywhere. I could sometimes use trees, sometimes I don't, but and it's not in the center. Okay. That's good. And then I'm gonna put probably right over that little hole, or close to it. Okay. There's that. Oh, my end moved. That's not good. Okay. Okay. Now, I gotta break out my Tombow again. My Tombow glue. And what I do to put my little earrings on is I place 2 teeny little dots where I'm going to put her earrings with this teeny, 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 teeny little dots. And I'll try to put them directly apart or straight across from each other. And you know, if her hair is kind of tilted, then you know, I do it that way. So then I take this, and this, like I said, these things are really, really, really tiny. You can see that. Oh, where's the camera? You can see that. Focus. Focus. If I can find the dang camera. Oh, let's bring it back some. I'm just trying to show y'all this tiny, tiny, tiny little pearl. There it is. Sorry guys, I don't know if it's gonna focus. That's how tiny it is. Very, very tiny. So then I take this, and I usually don't use the tweezer with this because these things are too small for the tweezers to grab. So I just have to take it and drop it on there some kind of way. There. Okay, good. Okay, and now we're going to peel this off, and they're pretty much all on the same side unless it's too big. They'll go straight across the top, and they're at an angle, so we'll put that there. And this is done. Well, I'm gonna wait till the earrings dry, and again I'm gonna take my I'm gonna go ahead and do the black, the pearl. I'm gonna take my Copic, and I'm going to color that black pearl. I want it to be black pearl in the middle. And I got glue all over it, so I'm trying not to get glue everywhere else. Hold on guys, my flower came off. And I'm trying to control this glue. Okay. So I guess I didn't stick that on good or something. Oh no, it was two of them. Haha! There was two of them stuck together. That's what that was. But I guess it's okay because I kind of got that glue all over the place and messed that one up. So that works. So we're just going to make sure this time we're going to try to get this on here and not get glued all over the pearl. That. Oh, well, that was a happy mess up. I'll throw that away. Well, you know what? I'm going to keep that one right now. And because I messed that up, I have to have little boo-boos like that because my little granddaughter likes to bark with me, as she calls it. I'll save her little mess ups like that. She doesn't care. So I'm going to save this little flower for her. I'll put it in her little caddy, and she'll have something to do with her thing with. Okay. All right. So let's. What? I'll put this. All right. Now let's go ahead again and try to color that pearl black. Or do I want it green? You know what? Let's wait. Let's do the green first. And again, what I do is I get a Copic marker. It's the same color that I used, which is G07, to color in the letters. And what I do is I just color in that pearl because I want it green. Okay, so, and I don't have a lot of liquid pearls, and I'm not really great with making perfect little circles of pearls, so I use this. And that gets that's dry. So I'm not gonna move it around. I'm just gonna kind of like dab it to color in the earrings. And now she has green earrings. And let me see, do I like that? You know what? I'm gonna go ahead and color this pearl in the middle of this flower too. Color it green too. Yeah. And we're gonna call this one done. And it is done. Let's zoom back out. Okay. It's done, guys. Done. Okay. Now I'm going to show you all of them that how I got them all together. I don't know how I'm going to put them together. Okay, but wait a minute. You know what? I'm just going to go in order that I made them. Okay, so the first one I made was Lust. And this is just a Mylar paper that I used, and a little bit of a tulle that I covered on that, you know, to cover the back part of her dress. Some kind of like goldish ribbon. That's like a little die cut that I use. I got a thing of die cuts. And with this tag, I embossed it the same embossing fold I used on this textured paper right here. Just random strips of cardstock that I tore off and put on there, and red bling, and the flowers. So that is that tag. Then the second one I made was Pride. This right here. This part of her dress right here is from a paper towel. You kind of flip it up on it a little bit, but it's like this part, the bottom part of her dress is paper towel, because I used when I sprayed the base part of it, of the tag, and I had a paper towel under it, and so the edges of it, I like that. Ooh, that's pretty. So I cut I stamped that part of the paper towel and I cut it out. So that's what I used. And this flourish right here was a die cut, and right here in the center of the flower, if you can see that, there's tiny micro beads, and I put those on this little flourish right here and in the center of that flower. And this is some ribbon that I got last year, well, the year before last. It was for Halloween. I got it for Halloween ribbon from Michaels, and that's what I used. And again, that's the pride tag. That's that one. And then I did, I think it was Sloth. That's this one. And the tag is, I think this whole tag is Glimmer Mist, so it's got a little bit of a shine to it. This paper I had is like 112 by 12 cardstock or specialty paper, and it's really, really textured. And I had 2 sheets of it. It come in like a random pack of 12 by 12 paper that I bought. Hobby Life, when I first started buying paper, before I started buying paper packs, I was just buying, you know, packs with random sheets in it. And it had 2 of these in there. One I used when I covered a book, and then I had one left. And I didn't know if it was going to work, and I almost gave up on it, but I liked it, so I kept it. And then I used this part right here of the dress is from Glossy, oh God, I just was talking about it. The pearl stuff. I can't remember what I just said a while ago. I forget what it was when I was talking about these, making these pearls. And also, I think it did. I do that with that? I can't remember. No, I didn't. And with this one, I want to do a little. You know, I was just thinking of something. So I took some baker's twine. I wrapped it around there and did that background. So I said, "Oh, I like that." So that's what that is. Flower. And then I did Gluttony, which is pink. And the same thing what I did with the one the tag I just made. I just tore paper. Actually, I did the same thing with the Lust, and it's just, you know, cardstock is just embossed. But I tore the paper, put it on there in different random spots. This was some trim that I got in a swap. I mean, it was, you know, it was a swap, but then it was like little extra goodies that was part of it. It was stretchy, but I didn't need it stretchy, so I just cut that, and it was a perfect length. And there's random flowers, black, and you know, that's that. Oh, and this part of her dress is embossed. Then I took a Copic and I went over it. So that's Gluttony. And then I did Wrath. I plan on putting on the back of these, I plan to probably put another layer of cardstock on the back of these to make them a little bit more stiffer. But right now, this is how I did to them. This one is Wrath. And on this one, her dress, it's embossed cardstock, and then I took some glossy accents and gave it some shine to it. And I did the same thing when I colored her boots in with a Copic marker. Then I just took some glossy accents and I gave it some shine so they look like red go-go boots. And this was the first one I used washi tape on. So I used washi tape right here and down here, and a few bits and pieces of sequins. And that is Wrath. And then I did Greed. Actually, I did Greed yesterday. And I put some washi on this one. I put tulle over both parts of the dress. This one actually glued down flat to the piece of paper that I stamped and cut out. And this one has got a little bit of a, you know, you can get up under there. It's like, it's a spot under there where you can get up. Let me see. You can, it's like, I didn't glue it down. And then there's a flower, the pearl in the middle, pearl in the middle right there. And this is some more, the background is some more of the spray mist that I made myself. This is called Sunshine. And this is a die cut, like the same one I used on the wet one. red one, but I cut it in half. Cut it right down the middle. Then there's a ribbon right in the middle of that, if you can see it. But that is Greed. All done. And then we just finished Envy. Y'all already seen this. We just finished this one. So I am done with my my 7 Deadly Sin tags, and I'm going to be punching holes in them. I don't know if I'm going to punch holes or just glue. I think I'm going to punch holes. I'm going to punch holes in the top of all of them, and then I'm going to string them some kind of way on ribbon or something, and I'm going to hang these as a banner when I figure out in what order I want these, because when I first started doing these I said, oh, one is because I was looking at the colors when it says reference to the sin, and so I had to make sure that I did the one Lust in a darker red. It's more like a burgundy, and this one in a brighter red. So I mean, so they're almost the same colors, but you put them together and they're actually not the same color. They may look the same right here as you're looking at them, but me standing here looking at them, this one is lighter, this one's dark. This is like a burgundy, this is red. But anyway, so I'm going to place these in a manner that I like them, where they're going to look good together. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I think I probably like this order right here. Let me see, I'm kind of put these closer together so you can see them, how I'm going to put them when I string them up in a banner form. I think I like that order. And it's going to be really cool when I get them hung up. Haha. So yeah, that is my idea. I've always been wanting to do something with the 7 Deadly Sins, and actually it was going to be the tags that I wanted to do, so I finally got it done, and I am no longer recording. Or am I? Yeah, I am. Sorry. I'm looking at my camera wrong, just playing tricks on. But anyway, let me go ahead and get this done before I run out of time. But yeah, these are my tags that I've just finished, and next I'm going to be doing something else with my dolls. I made a list which is in the house of things I want to do, and the themes I come up with was the elements: earth, wind, earth, air, fire, and water. The seasons: spring, winter, summer, fall. And the zodiacs, I'm going to do all 12 zodiacs. Probably, so I'm not doing it because I guess that's 12 something. Or I'm not going to do them all in tags. I'm going to do them like on canvases or something like that or whatever. So not going to all be on tags. If they do them on tags, it'll be slightly, they're going to be smaller, bigger, different sizes, whatever. But I really want to start using my dolls and things like that. So thanks guys for watching, and I hope you like my tags, and like and subscribe, and see you later. Bye.